Hello, this is Jamie Magritte. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. Only ink I'm going to use today is Misty Moonlight. I'm using this new to me die set, Dainty Delights dies. Has a stamp set that goes with it, but I'm not using the stamps, just the die set. I'm using the Sending Smiles stamp set and the coordinating dies, sending dies. I'm using this embossing folder, Fern 3D embossing folder. For consumables, I have a scrap of white, a scrap of gold. I have a 1 1/4 by 4 inch piece of Misty Moonlight, a 4 inch by 3 1/2 inch piece of white that I've embossed with that embossing folder, 5 inch by 3 3/4 inch piece of Misty Moonlight, and then a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of gold. My card base is my standard 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 scored and folded at 4 1/4. Okay, the first thing I want to do, since I've run this through my embossing folder, let's bring in our die cutting machine. I'm just going to use my mini because it fits on my table. And I'm going to die cut the daisy out of my scrap of white. And these leaves, this stem, those are all from that one die set, the Dainty Delights. And I'm going to go ahead and run that through. I'm leaving space over here so I can stamp my sentiment and also cut that out. And that's also from the Sending Dies. Okay. Put those away. But they're very tiny pieces. Very tiny. I'm going to go ahead and put those aside so I don't lose them. Okay. Now my scrap piece of gold. I'm going to take the sending die. This is too close. You can't see what I'm doing. Alright, I'm going to cut that out. And I'm also going to cut out the centers of the flowers. And run that through. Excuse me. Awesome. Okay. All right. The next thing I'm going to do, let's move this out of the way for a moment. And let's bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. This is actually a off-brand one, but and I'm going to stamp the sentiment, love and big hugs. Stamp it down here. Perfect. Okay, let's bring in the die cut machine one more time. center this die up on it. I'm going to go ahead and run that through. Alright, that's all of our pieces then. Now let's bring in our trimmer. And I'm going to bring in this 4 by 3.5 inch strip of white that I've embossed. We need to cut this into 1-inch strips, so they're going to be 1 by 3.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. And since it's embossed, try not to start in the edge because I don't want it to tear it. So I'll go one way and then the other. You should get try to keep them in order if you can. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in my Misty Moonlight piece. This is 5 inches by 3 3/4. I'm going to bring in my glue. And I'm going to put some glue on the back. And I'm going to start gluing these down. There's going to be about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. It's more like 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to start with the top one and the bottom one. Okay, and I'm going to do this next one here. Now this last one, there's going to be more space here. That's fine. I'm going to leave that there on purpose because that's where my sentiment is going to go. So it kind of gives a grounding spot for that sentiment. Okay. Now set that aside. I'm going to bring in this 1 1/4 by 4 inch piece, Misty Moonlight. I'm going to bring in my pieces, my daisy, 2 little leaves, and the stem, which is like really, really tiny. Okay, I'm going to bring in my bone folder. Okay. Yeah. I don't know where it is, so I'm just going to use this one. And I'm going to just give these petals just a tiny bit of a curl. You got to be very careful with them because they will tear. They're tiny. Okay, and then I'm just going to push it down in the center, give it just a little bit of a shape. Okay, then I'm going to take that one of those little gold centers that we cut out. I'm going to glue that in the center here, just the tiniest little drop of glue. Use my take your pick tool. Place that on there. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this cap off of there. I'm going to bring in that stem. Where'd it go? Did I lose it? I think I did. I lost the stem. Oh my goodness gracious. Alright, well I'll be back and I'm going to have to